All right, yo, how's it going? It's been a fucking wild, dude, but life. Excuse my voice. I literally I commentated probably like the biggest thing I have in my life, the Red Bull game hub at Planet Comic Con this weekend. I had a really good time, which is why I put the effort to put this Red Bull box up in the background right here because I'm really proud of it. But Um, I mean, the biggest thing against me making videos is taking the time to edit all that stuff. Sometimes I literally don't have enough time. Sometimes I'm just lazy. But today I just decided to say fuck it. I've had something on my mind for a minute and I wanted to make a video in the style of Moist Critical, one of my favorite YouTubers and stuff like that. And I really enjoy his movie reviews. There we go. I really enjoy his movie reviews and stuff, and just the general way that he gives opinions is it's super entertaining, but also it's super real. So with that being said, I'm gonna try to take a page out of his book, like the part where it's just like sitting in front of a camera talking. Um, and I'm gonna do that. So the topic at hand, what I wanted to make a video about was Godzilla minus one. I'm dumping everything out right here as much as I can remember in my brain. Um and I don't know, I'll try to rate it at the end, but Godzilla minus one is pure art. The only other Godzilla movie that I seen before this was Godzilla minus one, but Godzilla, I do the same thing that I did with, a bunch of other stuff that I can't get around to watching. Whereas I just hop on Wikipedia, read through everything, go on YouTube, fucking look at videos from like everything, so on and so forth, stuff like that. So I had a general idea about Godzilla and especially like the World War II, Nagasaki and Hiroshima bomb allegations. Basically, I'm the reason I'm making this video is because I'm just doing it. So to the best of my recollection, the whole thing is that basically Godzilla as an entity is supposed to represent like the dangers and like horrors of a radiation and a weapon that big and stuff. And I feel like it just lends so much to the budget because again, like back in the day when it was just like a man in a suit and stuff doing it, I mean, you get the skeleton. But Godzilla minus one, oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Like it's insane. Okay. Before, I'm just sitting here saying oh my god all over the place. Let me just go through the movie and talk about the parts that I like. So Godzilla minus one, it starts off, we see this plane landing and stuff like that. Our keen-eyed historians, will be able to identify where it comes from and everything. But the thing is, we are introduced to our main character, and the way that we are introduced with our main character is that when he lands, the mechanic comes up to him and he said, there's nothing wrong with your plane and stuff like that. And, so like, what is that about? And so our main character, who we find out his name is Koichi, turns out he was supposed to be a kamikaze pilot. So as soon as the dude said there's nothing wrong with your plane, immediately I knew what the situation was, and the tone switched mad fast. If you don't know about the history of Japan, then it'll take a little bit to get to that realization. Basically, if you're a kamikaze pilot, you're really not supposed to be coming back from missions. But so all of that is there, and then the dude is like, listen, I get it. If you knew where Japan was in World War II, you know where he's going with this. So he's like, you know what, man, I get it, I understand. our boy Koichi sitting by the river for a while, you know, and then night falls. And this is where we get our first look at Godzilla. Something I really, 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 really love about this movie is how often Godzilla pops up. He shows up in like I shit you not, like the first like 5, maybe 10 minutes of the movie. And we get to see him so many times in this movie. It's crazy. I was not expecting this from a big budget like Hollywood movie. So when this happens, the mechanic, you know, got everybody, you know, like ready, got the guns and all that stuff, and he told Koichi to go man the gun in the plane. So Godzilla's creeping up. We have a stillness, nobody shooting. And then somebody that was in the bunkers with him starts shooting because Koichi is in the plane. He has it right here, but he's hesitating. And so Godzilla is like creeping past all this stuff. The mechanic is like, what are you doing? Shoot him, take him out, you know, all that stuff. So that's, you know, that's why, you know, one dude started shooting and then all the niggas started shooting and then Godzilla was like ripping and tearing. Mind you, Koichi didn't shoot at all during this. Even when niggas were dying, Koichi did not shoot like at all. And so that sort of like sets us up for another phenomenal way to show the type of person Koichi is. And honestly, I feel like it's a very human reaction to situations like that. I don't know how many of y'all would agree, but there's no way on this planet Earth that I would be a kamikaze bomber. Like, I could sit here and I could speculate different like ideal scenarios and all that stuff where I could see myself dying in a blaze of glory. I'm gonna tell you right now, when I seen Godzilla, this was not one of those moments. I was like, this plane got wings? Hold on. But you know, all of that to say, we get a pretty good idea about Koichi. We see him freeze up in these situations. And as the movie progresses, because after that island, the only 2 people who survived that interaction were Koichi and the mechanic. I'm like blanking on his name right now. But oh my god, this is why I feel like I need to write everything down before I do stuff. It's okay, Carlos, you're getting over it. But anyways, the movie progresses. Koichi lands back in the mainland and stuff, you know, where, you know what I'm talking about. And, you know, another reminder, kamikaze pilots are not supposed to come back from missions. So, you know, met with disdain and all that stuff. Everybody immediately knows like who he is. Also, what's name? I've totally forgot. The dude just like threw an envelope of all the people that died on that island whenever they were on the boat back to the mainland. But you know, we get this in the rubble. We see somebody, I'm not really sure if Koichi knows them or not, and you know, another like a small child that this woman had found. And so you know, next thing, we're trying to figure out how Koichi gets a job, all this stuff to take care of this baby and whatnot. And then they have the bright idea, he decides that he's going to join this team, this team of volunteers that scour the ocean for the landmines that were left there in World War II. At first it looks sketchy and all that stuff because it's a wooden boat, but you know, these are magnetic mines. But you know, I find myself getting caught up in all of the details so much in this movie because there's literally so much to unpack. Like, this is definitely like a show not tell movie. Outside of Godzilla, which I super appreciated. Oh my god. But anyways, it's going on and all that stuff. Everything's going good. Koichi is showing those people how to use the gun and all that stuff. We get our quirky little crew. We get Kid. We get the captain. We get Kenji. Kenji's I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. out of the four people on that ship, Kenji is the only name that I know. I don't know his last name. I forgot it. But we got Kid, the captain, Kenji, and our hero Koichi manning the ship. So they're all like shooting the ship, all that stuff, and then we get a montage of Koichi buying a scooter and all that stuff, like going this and that and the third. Things are looking good. The house has been like rebuilt. Like we're actually getting to see the aftermath, like the rebuilt or not the rebuilt, the aftermath of what happened in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So everything's all good and dandy, but we need narrative drama. So it is being rumored that Godzilla has been spotted. And also something else that I found interesting about the movie was that at the very beginning, whenever Godzilla first showed up, he was identified by name. Like they said, this is Godzilla, or like, I think that's Godzilla and stuff. So that lets you know that this lizard is already like established. And so with that being said, the way that they treat Godzilla in this movie is so fucking sick. Like they already know who he is. Like the movements are so animalistic and feral, especially like in that first scene. But then literally whenever you're seeing him, the first big Godzilla sequence, like after that, not even the first, because the first they're in the water, that's a whole other thing. Actually, let's just go back to that chronological order. I can just give blanket statements at the end. So let's see. Koichi on the boat, all that stuff. Nobody is believing Koichi because he finally drops the news. Yo, it was Godzilla that came to that island, tore everybody apart. You only need to get so much proof of a giant lizard. And so whenever deep sea fish start coming up from like the ocean and all that stuff, that's how you know shit's about to go down. First big sequence goes crazy. It's also revealed that Godzilla like has a healing factor, which literally I had no idea about. I thought that shit was so cool. That shit was so awesome. Yeah, so basically that didn't work. Godzilla was coming for Tokyo. And oh my god. Oh, I really, 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 really want you to watch this movie. When I talk about the soundtrack, when the music when Godzilla is on the screen, like the best way I can explain it, it was like my eyes were like vomiting rainbows. Like it was fucking insane, dude. Like I swear to God, I have never come so hard watching a fucking monster movie, bro. Like this is like it like the oh my god. Okay, hold on, wait. Let me get back into the plot. Okay, so Tokyo hits, amazing fucking sequence. And the first thing you notice whenever Godzilla starts walking is fucking everything up without any care about like buildings or anything, not like stepping, not like stomping, literally just walking through. Like the same Godzilla we seen at the beginning of the movie, which I described as like animalistic. Like it literally it looked like a feral cat, which as a lizard is fucking insane, dude. It was fucking awesome. And then when he came back, first of all, he's way bigger. Turns out the Godzilla we seen at the beginning was still a baby. And that robotic walk, like I feel like there's just so much you can pull from that one sequence. It blows my mind, honestly. And so that happens, but crazy thing is Koichi girl ends up dying and all that stuff. This is not a. I will put it in the title. There are definitely spoilers in here. Oh my god. Yeah, so the girl that Koichi was seeing dies, all that stuff. Koichi is like distraught, all this, cuz mind you, like we can literally count the tragedies like that have happened to Koichi in this movie. Like the anguish that Koichi portrays it's it's so heartbreaking, dude. Like in and I don't like cry at like a lot of movies and stuff like that. I didn't cry at this movie at all. Let's see, I cried at Pursuit of Happiness. Oh, oh my god. I know there was another movie that made me cry. That was, oh my god. But anyways, um so we're seeing Koichi fall deeper and deeper into this hole of despair. And then Godzilla is just not done with the town. And so after that, during the rebuilding efforts, the citizens of Tokyo are basically like, the government isn't doing shit for us. So we need to band together and, solve this problem ourselves. And then this is where Kenji gets his like time to shine and all this stuff, and describing like the plan and all that stuff, like doesn't know if it worked or not. But at the end of the day, one of like somebody in the peanut gallery said that the casualties of the war were more hopeless than trying to get rid of Godzilla. So they had the numbers, they had the people, they had all of that, but they needed the finishing touches for their backup plan. So it is the citizens somehow get their hand on like a fighter bomb that is out of commission. It was being developed at the time of the war, but then the war ended, so they basically just had planes. And so Koichi goes out of his way to find the mechanic, who at this point, because of what happened between them, wanted absolutely nothing to do with him, fucked off to like some part of wherever the fuck. And all this stuff, this, that, and the third. And so one day Koichi's just walking, next thing you know, boom, back of the head, knocked out. He wakes up inside old dude's place, and is basically talking about like, why would you say all this like crazy shit? Because apparently he was like trying to blame him for like everything that happened on the island at the beginning of the movie and stuff. But turns out Kenji just like wrote all of that to like get his attention and stuff. And he's like, I know it was like fucked up and all that stuff, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I honestly would have just like cut my losses after like a certain point. I Oh my god, I don't think like, I don't know. I would have went through like so many, I don't know, tried so many other alternatives. I would have even toyed around with the idea of not having a backup plan at all before I like got back in contact with the mechanic dude. Um but anyways, so that like the mechanic dude begrudgingly helps, and next thing you know, the plan's in action. They get everything going, like everything is set, all this stuff. And I'm like torn between like if I should tell you what the plan is. Oh, let's see. Do I tell you about what the plan is? Because now I'm thinking about, do I even tell you like the climax? But fuck it, we're doing it. So the plan basically that Kenjaku, I say Kenjaku, that fucking Kenji puts together is is basically Godzilla comes out onto like inside this gated area, and they attack him and tie him up, attach him to weights, and then drag him down, because the idea is that the water pressure is supposed to, like, kill him. The water pressure is supposed to kill him. And then everybody's like, okay, well, what if that works? What if that doesn't work? So he's like, okay, if that doesn't work, then step 2 of the plan is to inflate basically a big ass raft underneath Godzilla, to where he floats to the top so fast that he dies because of decompression. Which, if you didn't know, when scuba diving, that's a very real thing. You have to go up slowly, because if you go up too fast, you can die. So that was the plan. And then the backup plan was that Koichi was finally going to do what his duty was and fly that brand new kamikaze plane straight into Godzilla. Fucking bonkers, dude. And like, and when it comes to like I don't even know how to explain this. Not like a plot device, but I don't know. Like, I guess like a piece of the plot or something. I lost my train of thought. Oh my god. But anyways, everything is set up. The execution of the plan is fucking awesome. Like, seeing like Godzilla's like reaction whenever stuff doesn't work out is crazy. Like, I feel like I don't really like feel too many emotions like outwardly when it comes to movies. Like, for example, if I'm watching something sad, I'm like, damn, that's sad. And I'll like feel down and stuff. Or like, if I watch something scary, like, if it's not like a jump scare or something, I'll like, my body will like feel uneasy, even though like I wouldn't like be scared of the dark, or like I wouldn't like I don't know, like I wouldn't be scared of like something popping out of the shadows. You know what I mean? Like, and in this movie, it was such a distinct feeling of terror. Like, it felt so good to watch a monster movie. And like, I promise you, Godzilla versus King Kong, I thought was such a fun movie. I absolutely loved it. Godzilla was still like a force of nature in that shit, but I was never internally terrified of him. But Godzilla and Godzilla -1 filled me with a sense of dread and terror. They handled it so fucking well, dude. But anyways, as you might expect, that does not contain Godzilla. And so it's time for that part of the plan. Koichi flying the plane right at him, a perfect fucking like shot of him flying at it, all that stuff. And at the time when I was watching, I was like, okay, this is kind of dumb, because couldn't Godzilla literally just turn on his heat blast? Because literally the entire point of the kamikaze attack was he had to get the plane inside of Godzilla's mouth. And so I'm like, at what point in between whichever fucking distance, which if you see the movie, you see the distance that like Koichi starts coming in at. I'm like, how at 0 point during all of that Godzilla didn't just, with his mouth was already open, mind you, already agape, why didn't he just turn the fucking heat blast on? But anyways, I digress. So that happens. Hit like the shot, the oh my god, the shot of the plane hitting the mouth transcends description. You had to have been there. And it fucking explodes. Godzilla is no more. Oh my god. Oh my god, Godzilla is no more. The camera, as if it's being held like as if it's being held like shaky cam style. It's like that at the spectacle, and then boom, right up top you see Koichi in his parachute falling down. Nigga, the boys are back in town. Like it's like they like oh my god. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was perfect. It was magnificent. It was phenomenal. It was fucking peak, dude. I shit you not. So then, everybody goes home and all that stuff. But turns out Ken not Kenji. Um Koichi is going towards the hospital. Turns out the girl that he was seeing, the found family that he had, and she was not dead. A truly happy ending. That nigga Koichi got to have his cake and eat it too. And then we get a scene that cuts to like the deep and all that stuff. We see a chunk of flesh, and on that chunk of flesh, we see an eye. Boom, Godzilla Zero. And that is the plot of Godzilla minus one. Fucking amazing movie. I know I like gushed so much, so much about it, and honestly, I'd do it again. I'd watch it again. It's amazing. It's so cool. I can literally pull out a thesaurus, and I can pull out a dictionary, a thesaurus, tape them bitches together, and throw them bitches at you. And I don't think you would still get the picture. Koichi, I loved as a character. Actually, before I get into the characters, let me get into the presentation style. Again, I told you a little bit about Godzilla, but not only the shots that they put him in. I talked a little bit about him like trudging through the city. I've talked about the origin, him like acting like a fucking feral animal. But I haven't told you, like, every shot of him rising out of the water is it's crazy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's terrifying. It's it's fucking insane, dude. And I really like Godzilla's design, like that the scales, like the rigidity of its skin, uh the back scales, like the stegosaurus spines and stuff. Whenever he's charging up his heat blast, him being like you can see it going up his spine until that shit comes out of his mouth. It's fucking awesome, dude. Like literally, bro. We like I went to a Godzilla movie and Godzilla was fucking shit up. Like I went to a Godzilla movie and was scared of Godzilla. Like it was out of this fucking world. Either you watch it or you don't. I can do my best to state its case, but at the end of the day, either you fuck with it or you don't. I don't know why you wouldn't. It's crazy, but it's so good. And when it comes to the protagonist, Koichi. So I've been like toying around with this idea of moral optimism for like a while and all that stuff, because I like thinking, I like trying to like explain things the best way that I can. And like this idea of moral optimism, I literally just took like two words, moral, like morality and stuff, like actually, I'm not even about to guess on this. All right. So, moral, concerned with the principles of right and wrong behavior and the goodness or badness of human character. 2, holding or manifesting high principles for proper conduct. And so the way that I interpret this is that to be moral is to be concerned with what's right and what's wrong. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, like, cause whenever I wrote my book, like, you know, I did the same thing. I Googled both of these words, but it's been such a long time since I've like worked on like the actual copy of it. But, yeah, no, the goodness or badness of human character, holding or manifesting high principles for proper conduct. So let me take the holding or manifesting high principles for proper conduct, which mean and combining that with optimism, which, you know, I know the definition better than moral, but I still want to look it up because I don't just want to say, like, you know, always looking at the bright side. So, hopefulness and confidence about the future or the successful outcome of something. So, moral optimism, I would say, is using that hopefulness and that confidence of the fact that people want to be good people, and if not want to be good people, but want good things to happen to them. Then it makes sense to also be concerned with what's right or wrong, or what's good or bad. And so, in a nutshell, basically, moral optimism as a quality, being morally optimistic means that you are concerned about how people are doing, because when everybody does good, things are good. When you believe in something, when you have a positive outlook or something, then it makes the most sense to do the things in your power to improve things for everybody. That is the core principle of moral optimism. And Koichi in Godzilla -1, I feel like, is one of, because, you know, that shit is crazy. I like, that's a whole other thing. But Koichi in Godzilla -1 is one of the most prime examples of a morally optimistic protagonist. From the different moral dilemmas that he's faced with the entire movie, how to deal with what it means to be a kamikaze, the hesitation to shoot Godzilla, the uncertainty about with how much passion he should even be pursuing Godzilla. All of that stuff it's so interesting to watch play out. It's so interesting to have a protagonist that deals with these issues, because even though it's amazing, it's so fun to see somebody like throw themselves into the sun. At the same time, it feels really good to see a character hesitate on that, to hesitate in these big moments, which makes it so much more satisfying whenever basically Godzilla forces Koichi into action by taking away like the person that he was fucking with. At some point, you realize that Koichi isn't necessarily making these decisions. He's doing what he has to survive. And sometimes what you have to do in order to survive is some really crazy shit. Not attempting to like kamikaze Godzilla crazy, but think about it. And I fucking love it. It's such a good movie. From the town coming together to like stop this very real threat before the government does anything about it. It's inspiring. It's it's hopeful even with the cliffhanger ending, excuse me. It's fucking peak. I love the side characters, that crew that I had, like he's who kept Koichi, or not he, fucking they are what kept Koichi down to earth. Like Kenji, the kid, the captain, they were anchors. On that boat, whenever the first time they interacted with Godzilla, the only reason that they didn't die was because the captain told Kenji, the only nigga that knew how to shoot that gun, as like the let me not even say that, because the captain had, like, you know, they were doing it before Koichi showed up, but who had the best aim in those conditions, they all would have died. Kenji's plan, the kid, like even outside of like coming in the climax to whenever like it hit that all is lost moment, even before then, like the whole movie was just a ray of sunshine. It was awesome. Every character in this movie I felt like had a purpose, which I feel like is how movies should be made, you know? And so I'm leaving something out just so you have a really nice treat, but when you watch this movie, just listen to the music. Listen to the sounds that are on the screen whenever Godzilla is there. It's fucking crazy. But I think that's all I got. Oh wait, I guess I can say this now because I'm actually making the video. For my official ranking of Godzilla -1, I would give it, honestly, I don't want to say 10 out of 10 because I don't know if I've seen any 10 out of 10 movies in my life, but it's really fucking close. I would give Godzilla -1 a solid, let's give it a 9.5. I'll take away half a point because of that in that plan whenever, like the climax whenever Godzilla didn't just shoot that shit whenever Kenji was flying away from like 50 whatever the fuck away, 50 knots away. Yeah, that's literally the only thing that I was like, okay, come on now. But 9.5 for my official review of Godzilla -1. Once again, I mean, Moist Critical inspired me to even make this type of video without all the like bells and whistles and whatnot. So I'll drop his channel in the comment. I mean, in the description. I mean, you're on my channel, so you know. I guess I can drop my Twitch, but yeah, what a movie. I guess that's all I got. See ya.